the RIOT Podcast. Welcome to the Thursday, February 2nd show. Did I say that right? February
2nd.
No, February.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear?
I hear the way you're pronouncing
I'm saying it the right way.
February.
Wait, you do it again?
February.
Nope.
You're kind of.
February.
Nope. Now it's worse. It's going to be worse.
February.
No, why are you getting worse every time?
February.
Now you're doing it on purpose.
I'm trying to get the R in there. It's really hard to do.
It is hard. I hate it. We could just take the R out instead of everybody saying it wrong.
Sure.
We could just change it.
Or we just...
Who's going to be mad about that?
We don't let these things bother us, Hudson. If you want to say it one way, say it one way.
Well, we're broadcasters, so
There's a lot of stuff we don't say right.
It's our responsibility to say it correctly.
No, that's old broadcasting. Not anymore. It's a new day.
That's when there used to be standards.
There's no
now
standards
anymore.
Not just let anybody do this.
That's nice of you to think there is.
So today on the podcast, we talked about things that adults cannot do that maybe they should know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
That older generations of adults definitely know how to do, right?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like they would know how to do that too.
Do you think, like, if you asked your parents when they were 22, could they change oil? You think most of them?
My dad could have, but not my mom.
You think your dad? I mean, my dad my grandfather had an auto shop, so I guess he would have known, but I don't know. Okay, do you think if you asked your mom when she was 22, would she know how to sew a hole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they had sewing class.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Yeah, so we've fallen a long way.
But I think that's just times have changed now.
But what do we know that they wouldn't have known?
My mom gave me her sewing machine a long time ago, like if I wanted it just to keep it in the family. And I'm like, I put it in a closet. Like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Let alone sew with like a little needle.
Yeah,
I can't even use
I wouldn't know how to use a sewing machine. But no, but
I have one if you need it.
If there's a bunch of stuff that our parents would have known when they were like in their 20s or whatever, what do we know now that they wouldn't have known back then?
If I handed them like an iPhone, they would have been like, magic, whoa.
But they didn't have it back then.
Yeah, but they don't know, though. They still don't know. If I try to ask my mom to do anything on a phone, she has no idea. You can tell if someone is good with a phone if when you hand it to them, the farther away and the more they squint. If they squint when they're looking at the screen, they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
If they're holding it far away, they don't know how to use it.
Let me get out my glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So for them, like my parents, I mean, technology-wise, they do okay.
It's hard, though.
But
like, even my mom can have a problem, like, recently with her AirPods. And I'm like, it's AirPods. What are we doing? How are we having a difficulty with this?
You're like, just pair them.
We just have issues.
I'm just trying to think because, like, they obviously can live without. Mm-hmm. They could live without a phone.
Mm-hmm.
What's better to live without? A phone or changing your oil?
Well, they just do the same things we do. If they don't, they don't know how to use or fix their phone, they'll just be like, Isaiah, fix my phone. And I'll say, Dad, change my oil.
Yeah,
it's
a trade-off.
I wonder, okay, now here's the next question then. When, like a couple decades from now, when we're all, grown-ups and whatever, and then there's kids that are in their 20s, like 20 years from now, what are we going to survey them? Like, I can't believe you don't know how to do this. When I was 20 years old, I knew how to set up an iPhone. Like, what are they not going to know?
I don't know. Maybe we'll just be better because you grew up with it. So, like,
yeah, that's a good attitude.
And
we'll just be better than our parents.
Well, I mean, here's hoping.
Yeah.
See, I think that I'll just learn. I mean, I think as time goes on, I'll just learn all those things.
I bet you that's what your parents thought.
About what? Like the technology stuff? Like, I'll just learn how to, like, change oil.
When they were 20, there's nothing I won't be able to figure out.
Yeah, I'll just learn how to do it. Like, my dad texted me the other day. He's like, is there anything you want to know that I know how to do? And I gave him, like, a list of things that he has to teach me over the course of, like, until he dies, right? And so I'm like, I need to know how to, like, change oil and do different, like, handy things because that's his thing, right? And so I'll just eventually learn how to do it.
Do you mind sharing your dad with that? No.
Oh, would you guys like, I'll rent him out yet again.
You could totally
for a small cost.
Because what's that YouTube guy, the dad?
The dad, he teaches.
And he'll teach everybody like certain things. Just have him come in, and once a month we have one thing we have to learn how to do.
I think what it comes down to, what I'm getting at is there's going to be an age, and I don't know exactly what it is, and maybe it's different for different people, but there's just going to be an age where we all hit and we go, I'm not learning anything else.
Yeah,
we're going to get to like 45 or something and be like, I don't need to know whatever the new thing is, or not even, I don't even need, like, you're not even going to be aware of it at some point.
Yep.
But let's not get there.
Don't worry about it now.
Let's hold off on that.
We're good for now.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, right now.
Good. I mean,
right now we just adapt with the times.
We're surviving. So.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about that. We also talked about Mr. Mucus.
Yeah.
And whether or not it's undercover, Hudson, which is what I think it is. One thing I didn't get to talk about in the segment until afterwards is like their outfit choices. Mr. Mucus, Hudson, similar. They both wear a flannel.
They wear a flannel.
And so as I looked at it closer, it could be him.
So is your flannel like what would be like I have a cardigan because those became popular again?
Yeah.
Is that like that? Is it a comforting thing? Is it because you get chilled easily or what's the flannel?
Is it because you look good and you think you look good in it?
Yeah, do
you feel like it completes your outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I look bare without
You don't
without
want to show your
having
arms.
It's not my arms. It's like my torso, like between my armpits, and then when it gets to my legs, that's a weird part of my body.
Sure.
It's like a
So the
melted
flannel-
candle, and I need to have
Yep.
something to cover it up.
So if you were to go on a first date with a girl, obviously you're married. If you were to go on a first date with a girl you've never met before, you think you'd wear flannel?
Yes,
Because that'd be your go-to.
unless it was like maybe I need to dress up for this.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
If I was just
Well,
gonna
then you
be
wear
like,
your
"Where's
nice
this
flannel."
Super, that's right. I button it up.
Yeah, you top button it. Yeah, because obviously you have that like go-to outfit. You're like, if I'm trying to impress somebody, like if I'm trying to look my best, not like dress nice, but like something I look good in. Yours would be the flannel.
Yeah, because that's just what I normally wear,
I like
and
it.
I wouldn't want to try to. I want to be honest with if
wouldn't
it
be
was
somebody
if
you're
I was
not.
starting all over again and had to woo a new woman. I would want to be honest with her from the get-go.
Would you prefer a flannel or wearing a jersey then?
Ooh.
Oh, flannel definitely.
Flannel.
Okay.
Jersey is only it's only occasionally.
See, when I look at though, and I see a guy in a jersey, I think, oh, he's got a little bit more money to put into jerseys.
Hey now.
Because it
High roller.
Yeah.
could look a little bit
Well,
less expensive.
yes.
Then if I wore a jersey out on a date with a new gal, she'd be very disappointed eventually.
You'd
you don't
figure out in the long run.
You don't have the money talk until a few days later.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
right.
fine.
Or
I
we
know
learned
I dress
yesterday until
as
we
if,
get
you know,
married.
as if I'm some high roller with all these jerseys. I'm not.
I just feel like if she sees me in the jersey, that feels like I'm immature.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Oh, not at all.
I'm wearing a jersey of another man.
No, at least it comes off to me as like, hey, he likes sports and he's willing to put some money into it.
Oh, yeah?
He has a favorite team. Like
Disposable income.
It looks more presentable. I sound shallow with the money part.
I
But
like
Yeah,
it.
you do, don't you?
I like it, Nicky. Now, for me, I would never wear a jersey on a date.
Yeah,
But
you might have to rethink it.
see, my go-to date outfit is a bomber jacket. It's my
I think
go-to.
you're pulling off the Yellowstone look though with your like your brown zip up thing.
Yep.
That's also popular.
See, that's a go. That's my go-to.
Because you look put together, but still not cold.
Exactly.
So, that's it. All right, well, guys, 8 minutes later, we'll let you
Yeah.
enjoy the podcast now.
Yeah, let's just move on. Just make sure you like and share the podcast.
Yeah, please share it around.
Share it around and watch our Van Leeuwen after show on the RadioU RIOT Facebook page and YouTube channel. Goodbye.
We're heading
See
off
you
to eat ice
guys.
cream. Bye-bye.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Everyone's excited about Super Nintendo World opening up at Universal Studios Hollywood, right?
That should be in a few weeks, right?
It's coming soon.
Yeah, it's this month.
But excitement might we might have to put a damper on the excitement here because we are getting the new safety details from the Mario Kart ride, which is really like the only actual ride in
the
Super Nintendo World,
yeah.
right? The new headline is that the average American male is too large to ride Super Nintendo World's new Mario Kart ride.
Did you see the waist size?
It says 40 inches.
So if you are 40 inches or more, you will probably not fit in the new Mario ride.
Yeah, they're not even going to let you on. And it turns out that now this surprises me that the average American man has a waistline that is over 40 inches.
Like 41,
41.
42.
It doesn't matter how much.
Do you think it's close enough where you could suck it in during the ride?
I don't know. That's a
pass
tough
out while
call.
you're
Yeah.
going
Well, do you think your waistline is probably, for a lot of people, it's bigger than like, oh, I wear 38 jeans.
Sure.
But you might get a real rude awakening when you get to the Mario. I don't know. Do they break out a tape measure? How do they do that?
You were in a relaxed fit jean.
Yeah,
you just
that's
didn't
right.
know.
Well, they've stretched over time too. You've broken them in.
You had a vanity size.
Uh-huh.
It was really like a 42 and you had no idea.
Or you're like you could be like Jerry Seinfeld and scratch out the number on there so nobody sees, but you're not going to fool the ride attendants at Super Nintendo World.
So the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, I assume it's like most other rides where there's, a couple of carts in the front.
Yeah.
And you can go pop in and see if you fit in. And then
oh, yeah, that could be it,
you
right?
can see before you have to wait in line.
They have a test cart that's not set up or whatnot, but I don't know. This
Off
is
to the side in a tent so you're not embarrassed.
Yeah, that's right. You don't even want to... You don't even want to be seen thinking, oh, maybe my waistline is too big for this thing. But I just don't understand, right? They say that, rides are now, they're trying to be even more safer than ever because there have been, it's still few and far between, but there's been instances where people have gotten really injured and died on different rides. Now, this one would be a big surprise. It doesn't go up in the air or whatever, so it'd be a big surprise if somebody got too hurt with it, but you never know.
Well, I wasn't sure because this is coming out of Super Nintendo World, which opened in Japan, and I don't know, does Universal have different sizes? I thought it'd be more universal. But if you go to Japan, there can be a smaller size compared to different countries.
I would picture, although I don't know this for sure, that we're larger as Americans than they are in Japan.
All right, we'll feel better by saying we're taller. Okay, does that make you feel better? You're just bigger that way.
But you would think that Universal and the ride, creators and whatnot would have enough sense to consider the average size of the people that are likely to ride this ride before they went ahead and decided. They didn't just copy and paste the ride over from Japan, right? So
well, you'll have to look because isn't it like with your guys' jeans? Our jeans don't go by waistband size. It's not built in. I don't know what my waist size is. We're going to have to, everybody's got to look it up.
Oh, no, I know my waist.
Is that built into your jean size? Your jean
I just
size
thinking
has
my jean
it in there?
size. Yeah. It's,
ours are just here's a number.
Oh, okay. Size 4 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's it. That's exactly what the size is.
Well, that's real. Why would they do it that way? That's so much more complicated than for guys.
It's how it is.
I wear a 36, I don't, but 36, 32 or something like that.
Okay, that's your waist size.
Yeah, right. Okay. 36. Mine is, I don't know. Don't know if I want to confess it.
Are you?
It's less than 40.
Okay,
by a serious margin. I am in no jeopardy
of not fitting in.
If I somehow am too large for this ride, then I have a real issue.
Okay, we don't need to know your size. In my measuring
and my jeans that I'm wearing, and I would think I'd be a lot more uncomfortable.
You're safe for the Bowser ride, but again, they say if you have a 40-inch waist, they actually say 40 and above. So you got to be under 40. That you might not be able to ride it.
Don't feel bad because that's average.
Sure.
If you're 40 inches, you're just average. I guess I've never felt better to be below average.
And now you don't have to wait in the line to ride that ride.
That's right.
You didn't want to.
Yeah, there you go.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
All right. You think it's time we bring back the Dodo bird?
The Dodo bird?
Yeah. It's been too long, hasn't it?
Is it? Well, okay. I only know the Dodo bird from, I think there's a site that always does the cute videos, like the animal ones.
Uh-huh.
And it was always the Dodo. Meaning that was in their logo and stuff, their name.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the only way.
Well, the Dodo bird, okay, here's the best way I think I can describe the Dodo bird. You remember Up?
Yes.
And the birds in that movie?
The birds in that.
That's kind of what a dodo bird was.
Sure.
Obviously, it's a very cartoonist version. But the dodo is a bird that, in the grand scheme of time, recently went extinct. It looks like it was around until 1662.
Dodo is a no-no.
Yeah, no anymore. But we've got a company, Colossal Biosciences, that said earlier this week they are going to try to resurrect the dodo bird, bring it back. And they've received $150 million in new funding to do so.
Well, okay, on one side, I think we could do a lot of other things with that money.
Yeah.
But what they do is it's called de-extinction activities.
Uh-huh.
And then the $150 million will go towards trying to bring the dodo bird back.
I think I like this idea.
You do?
I think I like the idea of bringing back the dodo bird, because what could the dodo do?
You don't know, though. We weren't around. What if the dodo was like this horribly mean bird?
I don't know. we managed to outlive it.
All that. But why is it gone? Why did we do something to make it extinct?
I'm sure that we did.
Because it was so horrible.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was that. I don't think there was like a war.
Yeah, there was Dodo Wars.
The Dodo Wars in South Africa in the 1600s or whatever. No, I don't think.
Were they eating them or?
I don't know. Let me see. European sailing ships found them, and
while you look that up,
yeah, let me keep looking here.
This is kind of similar to the de-extinction targets of the woolly mammoth, which is what this company has also been working on.
Now, see, that one concerns me.
And a Tasmanian tiger, which we've also talked about, which was the largest carnivorous marsupial, and that's one they want to bring back too.
Okay, it says that after the Dutch found an island, this island off of the coast of Africa, the dodo that's where the dodo lived, so it was just on that island. And then within 80 years, due to deforestation, hunting, and destruction of their nests by animals brought by the Dutch that weren't native to the area. Oh,
they took over the dodo?
Yeah, so it wasn't a war. The dodo got a raw deal.
Listen, you're reading one interpretation of history.
Right. This is not written by the Dutch, that's for sure.
That's right. So, you don't know what's wrong.
But I just feel that the dodo is, if we're bringing back, you just said the woolly mammoth, which is ginormous.
That's the largest
one. So
one.
we can't have those running around. And what was the other thing you said?
Tasmanian tiger.
A Tasmanian tiger, it was a predator?
Yeah.
So those could be dangerous.
This is the nice topic. This is the nice one then.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think this is what could go wrong bringing back a dodo. They're not threatening in any way. We'll bring them back, put them back on that island. They can have that island back to themselves, and we can leave them alone from that point on. And meanwhile, nobody's worse off. And a proof of concept in case we need to bring anything else back.
I just knowing how life is now. I just want the follow-up of they finally de-extincted the dodo bird. It is massively awful.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And then they have to quietly tell you that they've made it extinct again.
Yeah. Well, there was a decimal point off in the DNA.
They were wrong.
And they made the dodo way too large or have a thirst for meat or something like that.
It's a dodo mammoth.
Yeah, they're just I understand your mistrust of the bioscience companies.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
Okay, are you guys familiar with Mr. Mucus?
Mr. Mucus.
I've seen him.
Mr. Mucus from the Mucinex commercials.
Oh, the blobby guy.
Yeah. If you've never seen Mr. Mucus, he looks a lot like Slimer from Ghostbusters. And if you've never seen Ghostbusters, I can't help you.
It's just a little Mucinex guy.
It's like if your mucus, when you get, sick and have a bunch of phlegm, if it was a anthropomorphic being, this is what it would look like. And Mr. Mucus, he's been the spokesperson for Mucinex for a long time.
He's been busy.
Now he's started up. There is a social media accounts. They're unverified, but that are tied to Mr. Mucus, where it's not a cartoon. It is what I guess is a person in a Mr. Mucus costume. Posting stuff on socials.
Oh, no.
And people are here for it. People are watching the videos of Mr. Mucus and realizing that it's awakened some desires in them.
Interesting.
If you look at the comments on the Mr. Mucus videos, they're just flooded with people saying things like, is there a Mrs. Mucus?
Oh, is he available?
There is a Mrs. Mucus, but I don't know if they're still together. People just simply saying, I want you. Or how about there's a video.
Isaiah, this is your competition.
That's what I was thinking. How in the world?
Right. You can't stand
Nobody's
up to
commenting
this.
on my stuff, any of that jazz.
What about the one? It's a video of Mr. Mucus dancing around a fire, and someone said, that fire isn't as hot as the thought of having you with me, Mr.
Awkward.
Mucus.
Oh, that's awkward. You got to know what you're writing as a response to videos and what would happen if everybody in your friends or your family
saw that.
That you're thirsty for Mr. Mucus.
Yeah. So you're not, Mr. Mucus is not your type?
No, I guess not. Didn't know that, but.
Yeah, now you know.
I thought he was always like the bad one because
He is
He is the bad guy, but some people
he's
like
a bad
that.
boy.
Yeah,
He's a bad
that's
guy.
right.
They love that.
We love what we can't have.
Maybe that's what you got to do, Isaiah.
Oh, that's right. The
Start
alley
being
I
more
should
of a
go.
bad boy.
I
yeah.
should start going down that alley, huh?
Probably
Maybe I'm too nice,
Too nice, too white,
too white, and maybe a little more green.
a little more green. Maybe talk with a New York accent like he does. Hey, it's the Coffee Cabana.
Gosh,
I'm not doing
They're
that.
playing our song. That's one of the commercials.
I know that's one of the commercials.
I just, it's you wouldn't expect, I don't think, but I think that's wrong of us that we had certain, beauty standards that we had dreamed up of what people think is attractive, and then you don't account for Mr. Mucus being attractive.
Well, I guess I always thought if you were around him, that meant you were sick. So you also he was forbidden because no one wants to get sick again.
Of course. I would, you would probably want to be cautious about kissing him.
Yeah.
Because who knows what could happen with that. But Mr. Mucus, yeah, if there's somebody out there for Mr. Mucus, if there's several somebodies out there for Mr. Mucus, there's somebody out there for you.
So currently, Mr. Mucus Official only has less than 1,500 followers, and he's not following anybody, and they don't know.
How did you even find this, Hudson? That's my question. How did you find this story? He doesn't even have a large following.
He does.
Are you Mr. Mucus?
200,000 views?
I'm starting to wonder.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he has 1,400 followers on Instagram. That's a low number. That's like less than
He's
I have.
taken off.
It's like less than I have, and no one would ever find a story about me.
How long have you been on there?
Sometimes you have to start, and he's building a fan base. And it's good if you're on Instagram and you get with a follower earlier on. You could say you were always with Mr. Mucus.
Yeah, I'm just starting to question Hudson's intentions here. I think it's him, and he's trying to build his own following for Mr. Mucus.
I think you need to hop on board and start following Mr. Mucus. You might learn a thing or two about
maybe
how to woo a lady.
I already follow you on Twitter. I'd like to follow you on Instagram.
How to woo a lady.
You dance around like Mr. Mucus.
Well, you got to learn from somewhere.
This is the Riot Radio U.
Text on in here at 8772 Radio U. Let us know some adulting tasks that you don't know how to do. Because I've got a survey here of 18 to 40-year-olds talking about some of the stuff that typically you would expect adults to know how to do.
But you don't know?
But now this current generation, basically, the newest generation of adults, we haven't learned how to do them yet.
Let's hear the list.
Would you like to know what number one is?
Isaiah, let's chime in if you know how to do it or not.
Of course, yeah.
Give me a thumbs up or... Well, no, don't do that because people get in here.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
The top adulting task that 18 to 40-year-olds don't know how to do right now, oil change.
Oh, I can't.
Do you guys... You don't know how to do it?
No, I don't.
It was also among...
I can schedule one.
That does not count.
counts.
That does not count.
I think
Get
it's
the
not
job
bad.
done.
No,
I mean,
what
at
if-
least I'm not afraid to
What
do
if
that.
they turn you down? What do you mean? Wait, hold on. Schedule. You can just drive up. You don't know that you can just drive up and get one.
Well, I like to pre-plan because
Yeah.
if you're an anxious person,
She's
you
busy.
just want to know that you're doing it, and I don't want to go there and them tell me they're too busy for my car. I don't want to have that
Too
confrontation.
busy. It's just you just drive in and you see how long the line is.
I can't wait.
At
No,
Valvoline.
She's busy yet
I'm
again.
busy. And I'll tell you, the one time I did take it to one of those places, that was nerve-wracking.
It
Because they're
was?
asking you questions and stuff.
it
Yeah.
was just
It
a
depends
lot.
on where you go. Some of them have been real bad, and then also I've noticed that now those drive-up places, they used to be so cheap. Now they're way more expensive.
Oh, it's
than
wild.
actually taking it to an actual mechanic. Not that you're not an actual mechanic if you work at Jiffy Lube or something.
No,
but,
I
you
get
know,
what you're
like, different.
saying.
Okay, so that was the top thing overall, and the top thing among women that are 18 to 40, but not the top thing among men. You know, the top thing among men, it's fifth on the list, is sew up a hole, like fix a hole in your clothes.
Ooh, can you do that?
No, I can't do that. You know
How
what?
hard could it be?
I bet
How
I
hard
can
could it
figure it out.
be? You get a needle, you get some thread, and you just figure it out.
My mom's has sewed my stuff before. She sewed things, so she knew how to do it. Why would I need to
Is
know?
she 18 to 40?
My mother?
Yeah.
No.
No. So that's why she's a real adult and we're not. Okay, that was so number 2 on the list. Change a tire.
Oh, gosh.
Like,
I feel like I could actually do damage to the car if I tried to do that.
Well, when they say change a tire, I'm thinking put
Or
on
get
the spare
hit.
if you've got a flat tire, right?
Yeah, I know.
Which I have done before with not great results.
That's a tough task.
Yeah,
I don't
that
want
is
to be
tough.
on the side of the road watching a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Change the tire.
If you have to put on your spare tire, the tough thing about that is you're usually you're not in control. You're not in control of the circumstance. You change your oil, you can set it up. If things aren't going right, you can pause or whatever. If you have to change a tire on the side of the road, that's just a nightmare.
That's a lot to do. And there was one time when my dad and I were trying to change a tire on my truck, and even just getting the spare tire out of wherever it was, underneath the car, can be super difficult. That was the hardest part for us, was even just getting the spare tire off of the vehicle.
Yeah,
and
let alone changing
let
the
alone
tire.
putting the tire on the car.
And then you're the funny part is when it's on there, you think, and you get behind the wheel and you're like, we're really doing this.
Yeah.
How
Did we
much
do
do
that
you trust
correctly?
yourself?
Yeah.
This is a big risk we're taking.
If you can't change a tire, welcome to the club. I don't think that's one that's wrong at all.
I believe in the heat of the moment, if I was stranded somewhere, I could do it, but I would not feel confident.
It wouldn't be pretty.
Next up was tie a tie.
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Well, you never wear a
Why
tie.
would you have to? You know how to tie a tie?
Of course I know how to tie a tie.
You don't wear clip-ons?
I don't wear clip-ons, no.
What
I know how
about
to
a
tie
bow
a tie.
Could you tie a bow tie?
I've never worn bow ties, so I don't know how to
You
buy
should try it.
I've never done a bow tie. I
think
feel
you
like
could-
that'd be more your style.
It is more my style.
I did
For
have a
me, not
friend-
so much.
I had a friend who used to leave the tie tied all the time, just
And just slip it on. Yeah, a lot of people do that.
That's my move. But then the tie gets all wrinkly.
Yes.
Yeah, and as infrequently as I wear ties, I really should just untie them every time. What about, again, it comes back to cars. Can you jumpstart a car?
No, and actually I tried once in an emergency situation and it fried some stuff. So
What?
I don't think I can do it. I
Oh
barely
my
got
gosh.
home. It was
In
awful.
an emergency situation.
It was at Kings Island after some event, and everybody else was gone. And their security, we were in the working part of
Yeah.
and then my car, we tried to jump. It was me and someone else, and something was wrong. And so a lot of the electrical stuff, the fuses got fried, and I had to drive home. And a lot of my car was darker because the fuse.
The radio didn't work. No headlights.
It was
Oh
terrible.
my god.
He's like, it's awful dark in here.
And when I took it to the place to fix it, he's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know."
Nikki, let me introduce you to something else adult. AAA.
Yeah.
Next time that
Just go ahead and
happens to
give them a
you.
ring. See, jumpstarting a car, I have done this many
Yeah,
times.
it's so easy now too because you don't even need to have jumper cables.
You
just
don't?
buy one of those things. It's like $30 or whatever. You can get on Amazon or go to any store.
Oh, the
and they'll
radio-looking
sell-
thing.
It's
Yeah.
just a little battery pack that
Yeah.
You can jump it there.
gets it right going. And so yeah, I still count that as jump starting a car, and anybody should be able to do that. You want to hear a few
Well, that
more? You want
hurts,
people to
but-
text in
Well, let's
any
give
that they
a
might
sec-
not know?
Let's give a second, and then if there's a couple more.
Yeah, 8772 RadioU. We've given you the top 5 tasks that a lot of basically young adults don't know how to do. What about you?
Don't they have anything better to come up with in this study?
Something that's not
survey.
car related?
Yeah, we don't know how to fix cars, all right?
8772 RadioU.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
We're talking adult tasks that new adults don't know how to do.
Why don't they ever do studies where they're like, "Hey, aren't we impressed that we know how to do this?"
Yeah, okay. Well,
we never hear those.
why don't we turn this around? 37% of young adults know how to change oil.
Okay,
If you want to look at it that way, 52% know how to change a tire.
that's a lot.
I don't believe that.
And 54% know how to tie a tie, which when you put it as 46% don't know how to tie a tie, that makes it sound bad. But then it's like, well, that's about half, and half are women. And why would
That's what I'm
they
thinking,
ever
yeah.
need to know how to tie
You're
a tie?
right.
Even dudes don't really know how to tie a tie. Don't need to know these days.
It's less negative when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Jocelyn texts, she doesn't know how to change a flat. So I
Yeah.
think changing a flat seems to be the most common thing we recognize we don't know how to do.
Changing a flat is it's such high pressure. It's because if you don't get it right, if you don't nail it, you're driving off and then you're stopping driving because the wheel's going to fall off.
And I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I'd be like, can we still drive on it? Like,
Yeah.
how
I just
far
roll
can
this
we
down. How long can I go? Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we start damaging things?
But the funny thing about those two is you never see anybody on the side of the road with oh, that guy must have fixed his flat.
Yeah.
And then not done it right because the wheel fell off.
Oh, yeah,
It
you don't
never
wanna be that guy.
happens. It never happens, but you're still afraid that's going to be you. So here's some other ones that were high on the list. change a diaper.
Couldn't be me.
You don't know how to change a diaper?
Won't ever.
Why would it?
You
That's
never
so
babysat
simple,
when you were
though.
younger?
I've never really hung out with a baby.
Aw, except when you guys were babies.
you don't
My
think-
time has been so limited with children, and I'm not opposed to that.
Why don't you right now walk us through, because you don't know how to change a diaper.
Yeah, never.
Give me the steps you would think would be involved in changing a
This
diaper.
is what I would do if someone handed me a baby and was like, emergency situation.
It's got a stinky diaper.
You got to change
Deal
this
with it.
thing. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I hate this little thing. That's the first thing I would say. And then I'd lay the baby down. I would undo the little diaper, whatever. I think it has straps on the sides from what I've
Yes.
seen.
Usually.
There's little stickies on the sides. I'd undo the stickies or whatever.
I mean, it's the dirty diaper. It doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you get it off.
I'd grab both legs, right? I pull them up. I would
them in the air.
wipe his bottom
Sure.
Okay.
with a dude wipe. And then and then I would pull out the diaper.
Yeah.
I'd hand it to Jim. I'd have him throw it away.
Your dog.
He would eat it.
Yes, he probably would have it for a while. And then I'd have to entertain him somehow. And then I would take a new diaper. I'd slide it underneath him. And then
Keep going.
I'd flip it up
Yeah.
to where it's like on his belly button. I'd slap the sides
doing
back.
fine.
I'd
Yeah.
slap the sides back.
You nailed it.
And then I'd pick him up, I'd spank him on the bottom and say, you're good to go.
Get back out there, soldier.
Do better next time.
Yeah, not again. Let's try to keep that to a
So
minimum.
you know how to change a diaper.
It seems like a pretty self-explanatory thing.
It does, and
I'll
yet
tell you,
32%
Uncle Isaiah
don't know.
could be available
Yeah.
for babysitting.
And I've never seen someone do it either. Like whenever anyone has like their kid and starts crying, and
You leave.
and I'm like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get that thing away from me.
How can 32% of people not know how to change a diaper? And then if we go down, file taxes.
I got a guy for that.
Yeah, I mean, we all know, like, you know how to get your taxes done, right? If it wasn't for TurboTax and accountants, we'd all be lost.
I
but
assemble the paperwork.
Yeah, that's what even I know. Like I recently got like a W-4 recently, and I was like, I handed it to my dad. And I was like, I got something for you. I'm pretty sure this is a paper that my man Doug, who does my taxes, that he needs. I was like, here you go. Go hand this
That's
to Doug.
right. That's doing your taxes.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
it
did
is.
I guess
them.
that
I got
counts.
the paperwork and I gave it to Doug, and now Doug's gonna ring it up for me.
The rest of the list is use a grill. Well, you just keep lighting the
No, I
fire
can't-
until something.
You can do that, can't you, Nikki?
I don't like to. Propane scares me. So like I'm sure I could, but I don't think I would do it.
That's
really
like
well.
Eric's thing,
Yeah.
though. He loves the grill.
I don't
I
like
think
to.
what I'm learning here is that we just don't have a lot of confidence in ourselves.
See, I can run a grill. I own the grill.
That's the one thing you know how to handle.
I can grill.
And then iron clothes, budget. And write a check.
Write a check is popular now because no one wants to do the fees. Like if you get paid by Venmo or cash or Zelle. So like I have a few people that have been wanting me to write them checks. I had to order checks. I didn't know how to.
I've never had checks.
I had to get them.
I think if you pop into a lot of banks, maybe they don't all do this,
You
but
just
if
do
you
it through your
pop into
app.
the app and you just say, send a check to somebody and they'll do it for you.
Really?
Once again, all of these things that does it count if we don't know how to do them? We just know how to tell somebody else to do them for us?
No, I had to order actual checks because they wanted me to hand it to them.
Oh my God.
I was like, we're taking a step back.
Yeah.
But that's all right because they don't want to be found out going back to the tax thing.
You already found out.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.